welcome you to tonight's program, Stress and Insomnia, Breaking the Cycle, with Dr. Kaushik. And I would like to just give you a little intro to Dr. Kaushik before we start the program. With over 30 years experience as an Ayurvedic physician, Dr. Kaushik's medical training is extensive. He is one of the most experienced Ayurvedic physicians in North America and the recipient of the Dhawantri Award, his profession's highest honor. Each year, Dr. Kaushik and his family travel to India to set up camps offering free medical care for underserved populations. He'd like to expand this service to other countries as well. Dr. Kaushik brings this unique background as an Ayurvedic and naturopathic practitioner with experience in public health and health education to this locality. So please help me in welcoming Dr. Kaushik.
Well, thank you. So we're starting a new subject in the continuation of our lectures, stress and insomnia. And at this point, especially with the stress which is going around everywhere around us in our community, this is a really important topic because there are many individuals who are having difficulty with sleeping, and most of those can relate to some kind of stress in their life. And so stress actually is in everybody's life for some reason. Something happened here. So my screen is not moving. Give me 1 second, please. Let me take a little break.
Sure.
Okay. So what is stress? So we'll go over some definitions. Well, I'm not a technical person, so basically there will be times when probably we'll get stuck and with some help we'll move. So stress is a state of disharmony. So disharmony, this could be basically what we call in Ayurveda as imbalanced state. That imbalanced state could be for many reasons. That it could be because of a sickness, because of something happening in our life. So when you look at the state of disharmony, that could be of two types. It could be kakostasis or allostasis. Basically, again, if you look at the definition of both, the allostasis is process of achieving stability. When we are looking for some kind of stability, we are trying to work hard. And then in that case, when there are physiological changes, that will be a disharmony. When you look at the kakostasis, that could be an inherently fragile state or the deterioration in the system where homeostasis is suppressed. So in both cases, the imbalanced state of mind is there. And when that happens, then the body's own system will work to bring balance, and that counteracted by an intricate repertoire of physiological and behavioral responses which aim to reestablish or maintain the threatened homeostasis. So that's a process which our body will like to bring to balance. But again, in many cases, it takes a long time before the person actually recognizes what is happening because they are overburdened by other factors in life. Could be environmental, could be something happening in the family, could be at work. So all those things together will create more and more in-depth problem in our physiology. The adaptive stress response depends upon a highly interconnected neuroendocrine system, cellular system, and molecular infrastructure, and we call these all together as a stress system. So our body have this a very good system put together where body will fight with this first and then try to bring it to balance. But again, at one time when body cannot fight, then that's where we call it stress, because for some reason body is not able to handle. The stress is different for different individuals depending upon their physical and mental health. For one person who is mentally, physically strong, can handle the situation very well and there's no stress, but same situation for someone else could be very stressful. When you're looking at the stress, the key components are the, the HPA axis, we call the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and the autonomic nervous system, which play a very vital role in this process. And it will act as a at the vital center, which is in the central nervous system, to mobilize a successful adaptive response against the impaired stressor. So body will try to bring it to balance. The dysregulation of the stress system is associated with stress can disrupt the body, and the homeostasis, which will be again disrupted, leading to a state of, again, we mentioned those words before, kakostasis or the allostasis. That will affect the endocrine system, metabolic system, gastrointestinal system, and the immune system. So in general, the hormones are affected the first, and then we have issue at the gut level, and eventually that will lead to a weakened or compromised immune system. So all of these, when we work with any system in the body, eventually our immune system is compromised. That makes the individual weak, and other condition or diseases will take over as the body is weak at that time. The physiology of stress. A response to stress causes physiological and behavioral changes. Physiological response is carried out through several pathways, such as activation of the sympathetic nervous system, which we look at the HPA axis, behavioral fight or flight response. Again, the chronic stress can cause maladaptive reactions such as depression, anxiety, cognitive impairment, and eventually heart disease. So long-term stress, again, if you look at the list of the stress or the diseases caused by stress, is so long. Almost every condition you can look in the body can be affected or caused by stress. Again, the kidney failure, the liver failure, the heart failure, basically all these caused by the stress. So stress is one factor which we need to manage as much as possible. The one thing which we are looking at, which stress causes, is the sleeplessness, which we're looking at the insomnia. So we look at many factors. So we'll go over some definitions, how much sleep we need, again, based on the body type, based on the person's age, based on the work they perform. We require different time of sleep. So that depends on individual to individual. In general, so we look at the infant. Again, we know that sleep is a necessity for survival and the optimal physical and mental health, because that's when the body is being repaired physically and mentally. So an infant requires about 16 hours of sleep. So when you look at the newborn baby, they can sleep all day for as long as possible. That's the time when their repairs and the growth takes place. So during the first year of life, the growth is the fastest, and again, during sleep, the growth is faster. So the small babies sleep for almost 16 hours. Teenagers need about 9 hours on the average. Again, some less or more, depending on their dosha and the body type. So basically, if you're looking at a kapha individual, they sleep little more. Pitta, about the middle, and vata sleep a little less. So they are the one individuals who eventually will have issue with the sleeplessness or insomnia and disruption, because sleep, in fact, is a vata issue. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, but varied with the individual's lifestyle. So some people who do a lot of physical work may require more sleep because they are physically exhausted or tired, and others may not require as much. Individuals who are not doing much of physical work, they may be feeling very well in about 6 hours of sleep. Again, depends on how good their sleep is. Ultimate goal is to also comes to absorption of the oxygen, how much prana their body can absorb. So if during the sleep there's no inflammation, there's no underlying disease, and the person feel completely rested when they wake up in the morning, that is a good sleep for the individual. So in general, when we look at the sleep pattern, we ask questions for the individual: what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, and when you wake up, are you feeling refreshed or we are feeling tired? So many of the individuals, when they're waking up, even after 8 to 9 or 10 hours of sleep, when they report they are fatigued in the morning, and they have to have 1 or 2 cups of coffee before they can even open their eyes, then we know that sleep was not a deep sleep, and they were not feeling rested even after 10 hours of sleep. So like I said, it is different for each individual. Insomnia, which is again is the most common sleep disorder. About 60% of people suffering never talk to their physician. So many times we don't even mention that I am having a difficulty in sleeping or staying asleep. So 60% of the cases go unreported. They were not even mentioned that this has been an issue, which after 20, 30, 40 years, they will tell in some conversation, oh, I never had a good sleep. I always like that since my teenage or my childhood. I see many individuals in their 60s and 70s. When I asked about how you sleep, oh, it's okay. What do you mean okay? For how long? Well, never had a good sleep. So that continues forever. And again, many of them will keep taking over-the-counter medicine, supplement, whatever they think is going to help them, or somebody else took and they felt help, so they will just take those supplements or medicine, whatever they feel will be helpful to them. 1/4 to 1/3 of general population reports having difficulty staying asleep or having a good sleep pattern. Whereas under-recognized and under-treated problem, again, we know that most of the time, since we are not mentioning, this is not even recognized. And since if you're not recognizing, how do you treat that? This is one of the most under-treated problem also. Chronic insomnia leads to impaired occupational performance and affects quality of life. So we know that if you are tired, exhausted, you go to work and you don't feel refreshed, how your work will be performed. Again, that basically I leave it to you, because most of the individuals who have not slept for many, many days or have not had a good sleep, they are sleeping during the daytime. And some individuals will sleep on the wheel while they're driving, and they are stopped at the traffic light and they go to sleep. And that causes even problems because it puts their own life to danger while others are also in danger who are on the road at the same time. Many people, there have been so many cases where person is working on in a factory on a machine and they fall to sleep or as they are working there, and that cause many accidents. So that will not only affect their own health, but health of others, but also the quality of life. You are not really full of energy and then not living life to the fullest extent and feeling exhausted and tired most of the time. Also, definition of insomnia according to the DMS-4 Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder. It says a complaint of difficulty initiating or maintaining sleep and interrupted sleep will be basically the call insomnia. So again, there are individuals who will have interrupted sleep. They will get up in the night many times because either they have to urinate or they have just wake up for no reason. And then they have difficulty falling to sleep within few minutes. So there are individuals who will get up, come to their living room, watch TV for some time, or eat something, and then wait until they feel a little sleepy again. So the definition basically is that when you have difficulty falling to sleep or staying asleep. So goal should be to go to sleep and then wake up in the morning. The factors, the age is one factor. Up to 50% of the cases reported are in people over 65 years of age or years or older. So as we know, melatonin is required for a good sleep. Then with age, that production in the nervous system, is basically declines. And as we have less and less melatonin, the sleep difficulties start coming. So then people either will take melatonin and they keep it increasing dosage, or they can take some other supplements or food which will help the production of melatonin in their body. The gender, which you're finding more frequent in women, and again, the stressful life events will also cause insomnia. Socioeconomic status will also will cause insomnia. More frequent in people who are separated, divorced, widowed, especially in females. Again, the lower socioeconomic status, they are worried about money, they are worried about things they need to be done at home, or unemployed looking for jobs. So with the lower socioeconomic status, insomnia and basically incidents are going up because of the stress associated with the factor that the fact that individuals have difficulty maintaining their life, day-to-day life, and with that, the insomnia and the worries basically again increase. When you're looking at the pathophysiological models, emotional stress and the psychiatric disorder will come with that one. Medical disorder, which or a substance abuse. So we know that as a part of the modern life, individuals will keep taking things. For example, if they are using any drug, that could be a drug which is given to them as a prescription by a doctor. So many of the drugs will have side effect, which will cause them difficulty in sleeping. And also individuals who are taking basically over-the-counter or recreational drugs, and also alcohol abuse. So combination of those drugs, which also will also cause problem in their sleeping pattern. So when we look at those, that also need to keep in mind. So looking at this little cycle called vicious cycle. So when we're looking at the issue and we internalize the issues. So if we have a issue or stress or emotional problem, and we keep it inside, basically internalizing the problem, that will cause the emotional arousal. And with the emotional arousal, the physiological activation will take place, and that physiological activation will cause insomnia. So basically, individuals who are not sharing their problem, who are not talking to their friends or family members, or sometimes talk to yourself, or talk to or write a diary. So that need to be taken care of. So that will basically will be required. So in this case, when individuals who are keeping things to themselves, then they will always have problem with the sleeping, because they are keeping the stress inside them. There have been cases with individuals who had a heart attack or kidney failures because they had long-term stress or chronic stress, and they have not shared anything with any of their friends or anybody else in the family. And that will cause a problem in that case. So when that happens, those individuals will always have issues. And so that basically suggests there are a lot of studies done that when you have a problem, when you have a difficulty, when you are having a stressful moment, make sure you talk to your friend, or you talk to your family, talk to yourself, or talk to your pet. Spend a little time with your dog or somebody where you can mention what is going on, and then of course they will not tell anybody else. So many times we're concerned about our privacy, but again, when you hold things inside, that creates more problem. The next one was basically hyperarousal hypothesis, where we're looking at the central nervous system and the emotional arousal. And both of these eventually will cause insomnia. When you're looking at the genetic vulnerability, physiological sleep changes such as aging and the menopause, we're looking at the stimulants, for example, caffeine, nicotine, stress hormones are also, again, people take. On the other side, people who have issue with their vata, so depression, anxiety, and when they are keeping those emotions inside, and if they have any stressful event, and many of the time people go to bed and they are stressed about the sleeplessness. They're going into the bed thinking or for getting ready to sleep, but while they are in the bed, their fear is that if I do not get a good sleep, how would I feel in the morning? So when you're going in the bed full of stress, of course, that will cause the emotional arousal. And so emotional arousal and the central nervous system arousal, both of these will hyperactivate the system, and then you are not able to sleep. So for getting to sleep, we need to follow our circadian rhythm, which means that as the birds come home and the sun goes down, we should be feeling little tired or getting ready to sleep. So roughly around 9:30, we should be in the bed already. And that actually becomes a problem with the modern lifestyle. People at that time start working on their computer or start watching their favorite show, and then they stay awake until midnight or later. and after that it is very difficult to get to sleep. So again, I will go over that, some part of that with the in the Ayurvedic phase of the treatment, when we say that we need to follow the circadian rhythm of the body and the environment, plus also the dosha. When we're looking at the time, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., which is the Pitta time, that's where the repairs are done, and we should be going to bed before that. So between 8 and 9, we should be in the bed sleeping. So the repairs and whatever the tissues and the cells were damaged during the day due to wear and tear, those can be repaired. When you are not sleeping before 10 o'clock, then or 11 o'clock, then that repair time is gone. And again, of course, when you wake up in the morning, you will still be exhausted. So sleep, basically looking at the circadian rhythm, changes in physical and mental characteristics that occur during the day. So that is basically a cycle of 24 hours. And then we need to follow that time that goes with the sun and the moon cycle. Insomnia in Ayurveda, we're looking at what Ayurvedic medicine says and what that lifestyle basically is suggesting. It is a vata disorder caused by the imbalance of vata. Basically, we know there are three doshas, which we mentioned in every talk: vata, pitta, and kapha. So vata controls whatever is circulating in the body, including the nervous system, where motor sensory pathways are also controlled. So the brain function basically is controlled by vata. So if it's hyperactive, that which becomes the anxiety. If it's basically is more suppressed, suppressed and hypoactive, then basically we call that the depression. So depending on the circumstances, so that basically when you look at the hyperactive mode, that cause anxiety and then person cannot sleep. When it is basically hypoactive, so much of stress, that basically is caused by they have depression, and because of depression, the worries will not let the individual sleep. So both ways, even person is if person is hyperactive or anxious, or person is depressed, the sleep pattern will be compromised. So in that case, we need to keep in mind that we need to do whatever it takes to bring our mental health to balance. The Visham Agni, or irregular metabolism, can cause aggravated vata, where Agni goes through a drastic change, causing many abnormalities, including insomnia. So there's a big list of conditions which can be caused by the Visham Agni, which is the irregular metabolism or metabolic fire. And as we know that metabolism, or the digestive system in Ayurveda, is considered the most important system, because that is the only system supporting the entire body. So if the Agni or the metabolism is compromised for any reason, that will cause insomnia. So when you're looking at the insomnia, there are so many conditions which are related to that one. So if somebody have heart disease, kidney disease, liver disease, lung disease, nervous system, all of those, again, one of the things is insomnia, because it is basically affected the sleep pattern, where the person is not able to rest. Excuse me. The increase, again, other thing, we're looking at different dhatus. So we know there are 7 dhatus, and those dhatus are basically the transformation of the diet we consume, and also the energy of transformation, which we call as pitta, helps those transforming from one dhatu to the next dhatu. So when you look at the majja dhatu, which is the bone marrow, which is extremely important to again boost our immune system. So when vata is in the majja dhatu, that will also cause insomnia, even though same thing happens in the meda dhatu, the fat. So different dhatus, when they are also affected by the vata dosha, that will also create imbalance, hyper or hypo. So in that case, most of the time you're dealing with the hyper, whereas the anxiety happens, or the overactive secretions happen, or the system itself is in hyperactive mode, and the person is having difficulty in sleeping. So going back, in Ayurvedic perspective, is a Vata disorder, and then Vata in his hyper mode or basically is aggravated, then the person have difficulty in sleeping. Again, depending on where it is in the dosha and or in the dhatu, that will also be affected. So keeping that in mind, our ultimate goal is to bring the three doshas to balance and all the dhatus to balance, so the person feel balanced inside. And as we follow the circadian rhythm of the nature, as the person works, gets up in the morning and works all day, then by 7, 8 o'clock when they come home, they should feel that this is time to get ready to rest, because by 9:30 they should be in the bed. So in looking at the treatment of these in Ayurveda, we're looking at many factors. So looking at the health complaints related to the sleep. So when we are looking at an individual or talking to an individual, we should be asking them the questions, how basically or their lifestyle is. If they are going to bed on time, if they are watching TV, what kind of basically room they have, what electronics they have. So nowadays when individuals have, all these smartphones, and they are even in their bed and still texting or looking at some of these videos, that basically the electromagnetic field is still interfering with their brain waves, where the brain is not feeling calm, so that keeps them in hyper mode. Also, if there are many electronics in the bedroom where you sleep, then all these televisions or other electromagnetic field will also interfere. Now we have Wi-Fi's everywhere, so that also keep interfering with the system. So always look at the underlying cause. So if somebody is not able to sleep because of the pain, our goal should be looking at the pain, what is causing the pain, and because of that pain, person is not sleeping. If they have something else going on, if they have hypertension, if they have basically something happening in their kidney, or if they are not able to breathe well. So we should be looking at those underlying things, or some patients who have chronic pain because of some kind of tumor or cancer. They have really difficulty in sleeping because the continuous distress and the stress inside the body. So basically we should be looking at the underlying cause, what actually is happening inside the body, and take care of that first. Many individuals who have GI issues, they may have Crohn's disease, they may have inflammatory bowel disease, so they have difficulty also sleeping. Individuals who have kidney issues or the prostate issues, in case of men, they are basically keep feeling the pressure of going to bathroom or urination. So they wake up many times. So then they complain that I just don't have a good sleep. And if the doctor does not ask them about their other health issues, then you keep giving them something to make them sleep forcefully, whereas the underlying cause is still there, and that actually need to be taken care of, that need to be addressed. So when you're looking at identify the environmental factors, if there are issue with their environment. So there have been individuals who are not able to sleep because in their neighborhood, in the apartment complex, somebody may be smoking recreational drugs or marijuana or things like that, or somebody's making a lot of noise, or there are a lot of fights going around. So there are issues with the environment, or somebody is using chemicals, so there is a odor or smell which is causing difficulty in their sleep. So they just can't sleep because of the issues in the immediate in neighborhood. There are behavioral issue for whereas we see where individuals are not going to bed and they want to watch their favorite show or TV. And if they are there, then they basically are sitting there making sure that they want to stay awake. Either they will drink a cup of coffee or cup of tea or something like that to keep themselves forcefully awake so that they can watch their favorite TV show, which is coming on at 12 o'clock in the night. And I see many individuals who I ask, what time you go to sleep? And they will tell me, I go to somewhere between like 1 or 2 or 1 or 3 or 12 to 3. And that is too late to go to bed. So like I said, if you follow the the time of the doshas, basically then before 10 o'clock we should be in the bed so the body can repair and then we can get a good sleep. um, some of the therapies which are mentioned, again, lifestyle factor. There are individuals who will use recreational drugs, or basically, again, it's just part of their life that they want to go to bed late, uh, or consume alcohol, or caffeine. So those are things which, again, we elect to stay awake forcefully, even though we know that it is time to go to bed. There are individuals who will take dinner very late. So if they're eating at 10 o'clock in the night, and then after that, we must be awake for at least 2 hours. So the food start digesting, and until the food have completely moved out of the stomach, goes to the small intestine, then basically, we can go to sleep. So some individuals who are coming late and then having a late dinner, and after that they'll watch TV. That basically, again, also a lifestyle issue. Again, there are many who either by choice or by basically not having many choices in life, work in the night shift. That becomes an issue when people are working into 11 to 7 shift. So of course, the time which we recommend to be in bed, they are at work at the time, and those individuals eventually will have issues. So if you have to work in the night shift, then maybe after a few years, try to take a day shift. So little rotation, at least you also should get a chance for your body to recover completely from the damage which has been done. Whereas some individuals will stay in the night shift, they think it gives them more time during the day. But again, they realize after being at the night shift for more than about 10 years, they realize their body is deteriorating. Some of the, so again, people who are, so for that, we can use music therapy is really relaxing. So there have been so much music available, and whichever music makes you feel calm, that is the one you want to use. Goal ultimately is to make your body feel calm, and then you start feeling that is time to sleep, and your body get a natural induced sleep. Many people will hear a little fountains they'll put in their bedroom. Again, some individuals feel that it is a good motions or the waves of the water which makes them sleep. Some people disturbed with that one. So it's each individual different. You decide which works for you. There are medications, of course. There's so many medications people can choose, but again, you have to look for what to choose and what kind of benefit you're looking for. Like I said, the melatonin is basically what we commonly will recommend if somebody have a chronic issue. But there's a huge list of drugs somebody can take for the issue. Ambien is a very common drug people use. Again, there are side effects when they're sleeping, or they're feeling drowsy during the day. So always look for instead of having a forceful sleep, always look at the cause of having, cause of insomnia. What else is going on in your body? Try to take care of that first. The botanicals are many. We're looking at the passiflora, which is again very common, which is used, found in the tincture form, found in the capsule form, in the powder form. Ziziphus is also again a botanical, no side effects, and can be used again in tincture form or capsule form. Valerian actually is very common for calming herb. So basically I've seen many individuals who have been using the valerian either tincture or valerian root tincture, or they will use that in tea form. Bringraj is a Ayurvedic herb we use that is very calming, and then use that for liver. So liver is the organ which needs to be calm, and when it's a little more overactive, and then in that case the calmness is not there. So to feel calm, we like to calm the liver. So the Bringraj is given for a calming effect. Mint tea is also very calming, especially for females who have the issue with their hormones. So mint will help balancing their hormones. So in that case, the mint tea will be very useful. Chamomile, I think everybody knows, is in use all the time. So that is also something which we recommend. So that will be very, very useful in case when somebody is having difficulty in staying calm. So chamomile tea is very popular. Again, you find combination depending upon, again, if you have issue with you can't sleep because you're in hyperactive mode, and then you also have issue with hormone, then you can have mint and chamomile. You can also have mint and chamomile and bringraj. Some people have issue with the circulation. They can take chamomile and ginger. So basically, combination can be created based on the underlying cause, but ultimate goal is to make sure you take care of what is the underlying reason that your body is not falling to sleep. The sleep hygiene is very, very important, especially looking inside your room. And for that, there are many questions sometimes we will ask to the patient. Again, those questions could be, what you do a couple of hours before bed. Again, you should ask this question to yourself also. So basically, if you are an individual who is watching TV until about 12 o'clock and then you come to your bedroom, so those electromagnetic waves and plus those sharp lights and all these scenes of the TV, whatever you're looking at, as sometime we look at TV, again, you could be still following the movie you watched, or if there was a good news or bad news, you're still thinking about it. And so that will keep following you even for next 30, 40 minutes or an hour. And that will create a problem. So that is something you should ask yourself, that what were you doing before, a couple of hours before the bedtime? Were you spending a lot of time on watching television? Or were you on phone for hours chatting with your friends? Or you're working on the laptop? So those rays, which is coming from the screen, will interfere with your brain waves and will cause difficulty causing sleep. So basically, again, insomnia, when you're looking at that reason, that effect, the sleep hygiene is very, very important. And also you need to keep it in mind that basically, what do you do when you wake up in the middle of the night? So there are individuals who will wake up in the night, and then you ask them, why do you wake up in the night? Because you have to go to the bathroom, urination. So then if it's a male, you need to be looking at the prostate health. Again, if you look as a female, then you need to be looking at what else is going on in their bladders. Could be a irritable bladder issue, or so. So in that case, you want to make sure they don't have any infection again. So basically, when they wake up, again, other questions to be how long it takes you to fall back to sleep. Some will say, well, I go to bathroom and when I come back within few minutes, I am sleeping. But again, if they're waking up, so even though their thing is it's not a big issue, but then they tell, when you ask them, how do you feel when you get up in the morning? And if they are tired, they feel like they can use little more sleep, even though they were in the bed for 9 or 10 hours, then you know that every time they are waking up, that's a broken sleep and they don't get a full restful sleep. So at that point, even though it's not an issue, then you start inquiring about the underlying possible disease, and then you work with that first. And same thing for yourself. When you are the individuals who is trying to take care of yourself, you need to be looking at what time you go to bed, and then are you waking up in the night, and if you wake up, how easy it is for you to go back to sleep. And then again, when you are waking up, what do you do, how many times you wake up? There are individuals who feel hungry in the night, and that is also something to need to be addressed. Also, they will go to kitchen and they will have a bowl full of cereal, and while they're eating cereal, they will turn on the TV, and then for next hour and a half, they are sitting there while they're eating, they are also watching TV, and then 3 o'clock they'll go back to sleep, which they'll complain, I don't have any problem, I just go right to sleep. But again, that is a abnormality. One thing is getting up in the night is not normal, and if you are going to eat, that is even a more issue. So basically, when you eat your dinner at 6:30, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the night, after that, you should not be consuming anything. But if you're feeling hungry, then you need to be looking at your blood sugar level or other things. So find out that if there are any issue with the diabetes or similar issues. So there could be so many reasons of feeling hungry in the night and going back and then eating. So with those, we're also looking at the lights in your bedroom. So we recommend there should not be any light, and if there is light, it's very dim. But many individuals will have so many electronics. So these lights or blinking lights from the electronics, especially their clock, and there are so different systems in those televisions or VCRs, which we used to have before. So all these things had these blinking lights which cause disruption. So basically, when you're looking at the light, you should be thinking about what kind of light. If it is a blue light, if it's a red light, if it's a blinking light, or if it's a stable light. And so in that case, we should keep that in mind also. If it's a little small light, little bulb, and it stays stable, is not blinking, so it will not interfere. And again, most of the time, the blue color will be calming. So then in that case, that will be okay. But in general, we want the room to be completely dark. And if if that is the case, then is good. Again, if there's light coming from outside, we want to use blinders. We want to use a curtain. So we want to make sure that the outside light is completely blocked. So the melatonin production is during sleep, but in the night, in the darkness. So basically, we need to be getting a good sleep, looking at the room. Again, room should be calm, no music, no sound around it. Again, no electronics, no blinking, no things. And again, if you are using cell phone or your computer, or many individuals have these electronic watches, that should not be on your bed. Again, many individuals who will read and working on the computer, and then they will slide the computer on the side and stays on their bed. I've seen many, or have known many individuals on my patient, when I talk to them, the phone stays on the bed because that's where the alarm is, and they think that basically is close, but that keep interfering with your brain waves and will cause insomnia. So in that case, you have to make sure that you keep all these things away from your bed. In general, in the room, you should not have any electronics. You should be outside. And the best clock was these old clocks where they used to wind the clock, and there's no electronics, there's no power. So there is no interruption with any kind of electromagnetic field. So try to find if you can. The supplements, when you're looking at individuals who have the issue with the insomnia, and we know that the melatonin production is not there. So for that, Withania comes on the top of the list. So Withania, it could be found as a powder. You can take Withania powder. You can take capsules and tablets. Withania Plex is a combination of many herbs, including Brahmi and Shankpushpi, and many herbs to help the liver also. So Withania is an adaptogen, and many individuals who have stress while they are going to bed thinking about the stress, then Withania helps calm the nervous system down, and they will have a good sleep. Other supplement which I don't see here is the Saraswata Rishta. Saraswata is also a very potent herb, and that will also help in insomnia. So that is a good combination. You can take Withania and Saraswata together. Individuals who have from even childhood, they have very hyper vata, and they are have always issue from even as a child to go to sleep. They can use combination of Withania and the Saraswata Rishta to combine, and that will calm the nervous system down. But main thing is that we have to look at many factors. You don't want to force yourself to sleep while you are staying awake until 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you think that I take this and it's going to just knock me down in 2 seconds. That is not going to happen. It is for individuals who are trying to bring balance to their health. And so by 8 o'clock or so, they are planning that by 9:30 I should be in the bed. So they can take basically 1 tablespoon of Withania Plex and 1 tablespoon of Sarsvatarishta combined with half cup of water or just without water, and drink that, and then basically wind down. So at that point, you should not be watching TV. You should not be looking at your computer, not be working and looking at the text of all the people who you think they might have texted you during the day. There's nothing. All the electronics should be away. And if you like, you can read basically a light book, not very deep, stressful information. And also you can, if you like, a light music where there are relaxing music to wind down, and so that can be useful. Brahmi Plex is really good for calming the nervous system. And so many individuals who are working in a field where stress is very common, a lot of doctors, engineers, professors, people who are dealing with many other factors, dealing with the students, dealing with the patients, dealing with their clients. So anybody who is dealing with other individuals beside their own family, there are many factors which play, especially at this time or COVID-19, there are so many other factors when people are mentally exhausted. Could be because of emotions, could be because of many other factors. So Brahmi will be a brain tonic which helps nervous system basically cope with the stress, manage the stress properly. Same thing with the Shankapushpi, Pitta individuals who feel like hot-headed or get angry or get stressed sometime because of the circumstances. Shankapushpi will be a calming herb, a cooling herb for the Pitta individuals, so they can basically feel less stressed. And so basically stress is there. If you are able to manage the stress, that is what we are looking for. The complex, as the name says, actually is a combination of 2 extract, the Withania and Brahmi. And so that is a really potent combination which we use for insomnia and got really good results for those. But again, when we are going over these, there's no one formula for everybody. One size does not fit everyone. So we should be looking at what is the cause of the insomnia. If I have stress, as stress is everywhere, how can I manage my stress? How can I reduce the stress? If there is a stress which can be taken care of, then you try. Again, if you are stressed because you don't get up in the morning, and you're not looking at what time you're going to bed, well, that stress can be taken care of by going to bed early. And so, or eating early, not having a dinner at 11:30. So those things you should be, taking care of first. Heparitone, we mentioned that before, is for liver, like Bringraj. So heparitone is a combination of many supplements, including Bringraj in there. So again, we are trying to keep the liver calm, because when there is a stress, liver feels a lot of pressure. So basically, you want to make sure that we support the liver. The Bacopa Clarity Complex is also a supplement which have shown really good results in individuals who have issue with insomnia because of stress or because of a condition where they feel that they are they have stress in their life, even though sometimes that could be real or unreal. Like I said before, each individual is different. Something which could be not a stress for you could be of much stress for me, depending on how we handle it, how we analyze it, how we look at the situation. So in that case, these things are not strong drugs. They have no side effect. They have no withdrawal symptom. They are there to support your nervous system so that you can cope, and then also you can handle this stress. Mint and chamomile, we mentioned that before, mostly for bringing the hormones to balance. Again, we see that mostly females. Magnesium, again, is a supplement which is used to relax if there is a stress or if there is a tension in life, which is almost everyone. And so at this point, when they feel tight, when they are feeling that they have tightness in their chest, tightness in their breathing, so the entire body feels tight, a lot of aches and pain. So you know that basically, again, if you look at the individual, again, magnesium supplementation could be helpful. And so you can, so basically depending on the individual, you can basically work with that one. Calcium is also found to be very, very useful. So calcium deficiency can also cause insomnia. So individuals who don't have enough calcium in their body, they need to take calcium supplementation, and that is also sometimes find. Same thing with the copper. So basically, you need to be looking at these minerals inside your body and see which one is so low, which can cause insomnia. Most of these, like I said, could be coming from your food or a food source. Magnesium, I think we mentioned that before also. If you are using beetroot every day, that have plenty. If you are keeping water in a copper pot and drink that in the morning, there's enough copper. Calcium we are finding in many supplementation, the cheese, the milk products, beans, lentils. So it's basically you're looking at the own diet and get those minerals from your diet to make sure that your body absorb enough. So in the stress we talked before, this also music is very, very useful. So any music you choose to listen to, which you feel makes you calm, that is the music you want to follow. Again, music therapies are also offered when you go to a therapist, and then they will play a music and you close your eyes and you go to, and the individual goes to sleep. So it means that is the music which you can take very light, not much of a noise, and it can be in your bedroom. And if you like, you can put at a little timer where it helps you going to sleep for hour or so, and after that it turns off by itself while you are at sleep. You don't want to keep running entire night. If you have any stress or a stressful event going inside the body, is always recommended that you talk to a friend. So basically, in general, most of the physicians also, including many of the holistic doctors, will think that drug should be the last choice. You should handle your stress, try to manage it, and then see what can be done to bring the natural sleep pattern back to life. So talk to a friend. A good friend will always be helpful in handling the stress. Will give you some suggestions. So at least it will be the issue will not be still internalizing. It will come out. Laugh it off, whatever it is. Sometimes we make mistakes. So basically, laughing at your own issue, stupidity, what mistakes you made, and they basically laugh at yourself. And laughter therapy is very powerful. Some individuals get together and just laugh, and laughing actually improves circulation and improves metabolism and brain function, of course. And so green tea found to be very useful. Of course, please do not mix a black tea or any coffee with it. Just green tea. It also helps repair the cells during the sleep. So it will be very useful for the stress. Eat right, of course, is a number should be number one. So not to eat foods which are very sour or in the night, or pungent say, or bitter, not too much bitters. So so bitters in general are considered good for liver, but not too many. So basically eat light in the night. So the soup, and of course more plant-based is always good. Not too heavy food. But again, if you are eating, then we need to learn the process of eating. You take sweet first, so your dessert should be the first, so that after you eat your food, that is digested properly. Not after dinner you take a ball full of ice cream. That will suppress the food, the agni. So basically your metabolic fire will be low and cause more problem. So again, you need to make, if you want to drink green tea, drink it before the meal, so it will help in basically improving your metabolic fire, the agni. So that's why soups are suggested in the beginning, to have more agni, more heat, so it will be able to digest well. So if you're eating heavy food in the night and late night, or you're having a pizza with a lot of meat and extra cheese at 10 o'clock in the night, of course, it'll be causing more difficulty with digestion, and with the gas and the bloating, sleeping will be an issue. So make sure before you go to bed, about 2 hours before that, your food should be adjusted. So if you're eating at 7, you give yourself at least 2 hours. By 9 or so, then you can plan to go to bed. So give yourself 2 hours. In those 2 hours, your stomach should be empty, and your food should be starting digesting in the small intestine. So like you said, the transition time is about 4 hours. So you want to use that time wisely. And if you're an individual who has slow metabolism, then you want to make sure that you use some bitters and some ginger, for example, in your food, so that will stimulate the metabolism. Not too heavy. Again, at the end, no dessert, not a lot of cheese, not a lot of milk or cream products. So not too much of a heavy food. In the lunchtime, when is a time for pita, you can have a basically, good full meal, but in the night, lighter the better. And again, after that, you want to make sure that you relax. If you go for a lighter walk, that's a good thing, or just walk around your home. But food should be starting digesting before you go to bed. And if there is an issue, talk yourself through it. Again, we are looking at things which will improve our sleep. And stress is number one factor which is causing the insomnia. So basically, if there is an issue, you think about it, talk yourself through it. Again, not to going to bed with all the problem. And there are individuals who will go to bed thinking about what they have done, planning for the future. So what I suggest, when you are going into the bed, as you are sliding into your bed into your comforter, try taking 10 deep breaths. So basically, with the long deep breath, as you inhale and exhale, try to wind down, try to also and exhale your issues and stress and the problems and the stressors. So in general, by the 7th, 8th breath, you should feel that your eyes are becoming heavy, eyelids becoming heavier, and you're just going to sleep. And by the 10th breath, it should be gone. Many individuals who are into chanting, also we tell them to chant mantra of their choice. We suggest that also in case they need that. Everybody is different, so they can have some chanting. And the goal is to basically detach yourself of whatever you have been doing before that or during the day. So when you are in the bed, your mind is not thinking or attached to something else. It should completely be with you so that you can have a good sleep. Be mindful. So basically, you want to, generally in life, you try to be good and do good. So just if you're doing good things, then you have no stress. You basically are always thinking about doing something better for the family, for the community, for other people around you, for the nation, for the world. And if your mind is set to do something good, then basically the stresses will go away by itself, because as you are being good, many other people will be with you if you have any issue. So they are taking care of you, and you will not have to worry about things. Have a good sustained purpose of life beyond oneself. So for one, everybody lives for themselves. Even an animal, they live for themselves. They go and hunt and find some food. Basically, humans are the ones who were given this choice of karma. And the good karma would be when you are also thinking about others. So when you are doing something for others, and also the gratitude and all these things, which keeps your mind clean of all the clutter, will be very helpful in having a good sleep. Of course, exercise and yoga is good. You can do in the morning and in the evening also, not rigorous in the evening. You don't want to be basically feeling that you are so tired, but also you want to make sure you're calm and you are physically and mentally feeling calm and getting ready to get some rest. Pranayama is, like I said before, is very important. So I always suggest people who work with me that when you go to bed, plan to take 10 long deep breaths. So you inhale a long deep breath and exhale very slowly, and follow your breath. As you inhaling your breath, you can really feel that these prana or life force from the environment is going through your nostrils, through your lungs, and from lungs is going to rest of the body, and you just follow that as you exhale it. And within few breaths, you start feeling that you are going to sleep. Many individuals who reported that they didn't even finish the 10, and they were basically gone to sleep before that. So it's basically, it is very important. Again, if you individuals who have emotional issue, the pet have been found a very good companion. You spend time with them, you play with them. So basically, main issue is to de-stress yourself. And if you have any stress in life, make sure you handle it, because as soon as we are born, stress starts. So you can't. There's probably nobody who have no stress. How we manage it is becoming an issue. So the supplements we mentioned, they are there to support your nervous system. So if you're physically and mentally weak, exhausted, tired, and it is become difficult for you to handle the stress because your vata is aggravated. So in that case, these will help balancing those issues. But if you have any condition underlying, if you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, if you have issue with your liver, if you have issue digestion, you're not able to digest, then you need to take care of those first. And with that, your body will be resting and body will be feeling more calm. So basically with the physical health, then you attain the emotional and mental health. So that is very, very important. So continuation, the treatment, Shirodhara, is actually a therapy in Ayurveda, where a stream of warming, calming oils actually are falling on your forehead. We call at the place of third eye, and also called the place of pineal gland. So when this is tapping there for about 45 minutes therapy, and I've seen within 10-15 minutes many of the individuals who will report that they have insomnia and they have difficulty sleeping, and I see them or snoring within few minutes. So that tapping there with these calming oils, which we blend for the individual, within 10-15 minutes, they are actually really getting a good sleep. So it's very calming. And with the balance of the nervous system, the entire endocrine system, the entire body feels calm. So all the hormones feel calm. So it's a very, very powerful, very important. Again, this is also part of the Panchakarma, but Shirodhara by itself is also very powerful. Meditation, of course, is very, very important, where you are trying to disconnect with the worldly things and connect with yourself. As you're connecting with yourself, you are following your breath as you are inhale and exhale, and just stay with your breath, which goes in and out of you. And so that is a good way of discluttering, or basically cleaning your mind of all the clutter, and detaching from the environment and making sure you are concentrating on yourself. Yoga, of course, is good, light yoga, and chanting, depending on, again, what you believe in. There are many mantras you can chant. Most individuals, while they're doing that, they will take a glass of milk with some Vithania powder and Brahmi powder mixed together. Some will take Vithania, Brahmi, and Shankh Pushpi. And basically depending on, so personally I take complex and Vithania, and so that helps having a good sleep. So without any effect or any drug or anything which can cause side effect, just having a good balanced meal before 8:30, before 8 o'clock, then perfect time is before 7. But like today we have a lecture, so basically it's going to be a little late, but having before 7 o'clock, and then giving yourself about 2 hours to digest the food and start digesting, even though that process is about 4 hours. And calming yourself, disconnecting with the environment by chanting, meditating, taking deep breaths. You are ready to go to sleep. And with that, you should be able to having a good sleep. And if that doesn't work, then you come to some combination of supplement. So the most important thing is creating happiness. Sometimes happiness just doesn't come by itself. It's a state of mind. And if you are feeling happy because of your achievement, because of what you have, gratitude, what everything you have done in your life, and God gave you so much, basically a physical, able, healthy body, mentally balanced, and so many things, good friends. So for that, we feel gratitude and we create our own happiness. Be satisfied of the things you have. So again, this quote came from Voltaire. He said, decided to be happy because this improves my health. And that is the most important thing. Like I said before, last time we talked about Ayurveda. It's called Samdosha, Samagnisha, Samadhatu, Malkriya, Prasanna Atma Indriya Mana Swast Itya Vidhyate, which means the balance will be when there are three doshas in balance, dhatus are in balance, excretion in balance, and with that you're mentally in balance, basically emotionally in balance. When you are feeling that, then that's what you call healthy. So you are creating happiness around yourself, within yourself, and that brings to a complete balanced health. Any question you have? I'm here again. Again, we have a clinic in Cross River, that's where I am now. If you have any question, you can ask. If not today, you can send me a text or email later on. And hopefully we'll see you again in a few weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kaushik. There are a few questions. I'm just read them to you, okay?
Yes.
First question is, where can we get all these supplements?
So many supplements actually are available online. You can look those, or you can stop by at the clinic. We have those. Anyone who practices Ayurvedic practice, basically as Ayurvedic practitioner, they will have all these supplements. So these all herbs are available. So at this point, Ayurveda is becoming actually a mainstream, medicine, slowly a lifestyle, and especially with the issues going around us. Everybody's concerned about immune system, and Ayurvedic medicine is one of those basically system which requires lifestyle change, and one of those is to boost your immune system. But they are available at any Ayurvedic practitioner, and for the convenience, if you want to stop by or call the office, we'll be glad to send you those.
Thank you, Dr. Kaushik. The next question is, how many hours between working out and eating? How many hours between working out and sleeping? And how many hours between caffeine and sleeping?
So the first one is the working out. So in that, when you are working out, that entire circulation is focused on your skeletal system, basically all the muscles and the ligaments. So basically that's where your blood is going. So for having a good metabolism, or for calming the mind, then you need at least 2 hours. So if you are exercising and working out, say at 6 p.m., then you want to plan to go to bed about 8 o'clock. So give yourself 2 hours. Same thing with the food. I mentioned that before also. It takes about 2 hours. So if you are eating something at 8 o'clock, then it's recommended you do not go to bed and don't try to sleep before 10 o'clock. You have to give yourself 2 hours before the food has been or moved from entirely from stomach to small intestine. And after that, got roughly 2 more hours. So transition time is about 4 hours. So roughly middle of the transition time through the alimentary canal, you can go to bed, and so it will not have a regurgitation. So you should not have any food in the stomach while you're going to sleep. And there was third more, I think you mentioned one more with this one.
Yeah, there is a caffeine and sleeping. How many hours between caffeine if you drink something with caffeine?
If you think with caffeine, so caffeine depends on the how fast your system metabolizes the caffeine. There are individuals who will drink coffee and have a good sleep after that. And there are individuals who will have caffeine in the evening, and then they cannot go to sleep the entire night. So that depends on how fast your kidneys will flush it out, and basically, so that depends on your circulation and how fast the metabolism takes place. In general, what we recommend that after about 5 o'clock, you should not have any caffeine. So even though if it is slow breakdown, by 9 o'clock, it should be flushed out your system. But if you drink in the night, then by 12 o'clock, the effect of caffeine comes and you wake up because you feel you need to go to bathroom because you had caffeine. So generally, what we think that if you are sleeping at 8, then after evening tea, 4 o'clock or so, you should not have any caffeine. And with that, you should get at least 4 hours.
I see. Okay. The next question. Are there any natural frequencies that can help soothe and induce sleep?
Natural frequencies?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but Ayurvedic medicine does not basically use any frequencies.
No, fragrances.
Fragrances.
Fragrances. I'm sorry.
There are many basically. We use the frankincense. That is one. They use passion flora that has been used. So there are few I have worked with. Those are calming. I have not used many of the fragrances in my practice, but again, there are many available. So few I mentioned, those the one I knew, but many are available which are used to have a good sleep.
And the next question is, what are the ingredients in golden milk and why does it help sleep?
One thing is that the milk itself is increasing kapha. So kapha induces sleep. So it is going to be opposite of the vata, because vata cause aggravation and will cause anxiety and person cannot sleep. So in general, milk is more kaphagenic, will reduce the vata and then person will go to sleep. But with this one, individuals who have issue with the sleep, the use of saffron is also important. That will help also getting good sleep. Saffron is not only a good tonic for physical health, but also for nervous system. Is very calming, and so that will be used. But in case you are using turmeric, that is used to help if there are any other factors helping in the body. For example, if there is inflammation, and which is a very common thing. So with that, naturally you are getting some supplementation of anti-inflammatory and person will calm. But in general, milk actually is calming, and individuals who take 1 cup of milk or golden milk with Withania actually shows really good results. So either you can take the Withania powder with milk, or you can take Withania and Brahmi with milk. That show actually better results compared to the golden milk in insomnia.
There are a few comments about, thank you very much. It's very helpful sections.
Thank you.
And thank you for this informative talk. Anyone else have any question? You can unmute yourself if you like to speak to Dr. Kaushik directly. Okay.
Sure, I go home and have a good cup of warm organic whole milk with some Withania or Shankapushpi and Brahmi, and I'm sure you'll have a good sleep tonight.
Dr. Kaushik, you don't drink milk.
If you don't drink milk, then almond milk is good. When you take almond milk with the Withania or Brahmi or Shankapushpi.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
How long before?
Dr. Kaushik, I have a question. What can I do at night to make sure I can eliminate efficiently in the morning?
So many things. Basically, what we recommend in Ayurveda, if you have that issue, you take Triphala capsule or powder. So Triphala is a combination of 3 fruits. Very potent. So even though we are recommending it for digestive system, actually it's a rasayana. A rasayana in Ayurveda is anything which is a medicine when you need it, but otherwise it is a anti-aging or a tonic. So it is a tonic when you don't need it. So
The triphala is a tonic?
trifla is a rasayana. Rasayana is a medicine when you are sick, otherwise
Okay.
it's a tonic. So when you take trifla regularly, if you are taking capsule, 2 to 3 capsules every night, if you're taking a powder, roughly about half to 3/4 a teaspoon of powder, and just drink that, and you will have a good elimination. And if you, with your dinner, if you include about 1/4 of beetroot. Beetroot have a lot of magnesium. Not only it have good fiber, but also magnesium. So basically add fibers to your diet. And of course that will help in digestion and you will have a good elimination. If
Yeah.
someone have a chronic issue, chronic constipation, so they should do this in the night, but also take a copper pot and or fill that with water and mix 1 teaspoon of trifla powder in it and keep it overnight. Next morning, first thing you do is drink that water, and then you will see the results within the next few minutes. So basically, yes, go ahead, please.
Fill the copper pot and not boil it?
No, just the water.
Okay.
Make sure the copper pot is clean, and you put water, and then you put 1 teaspoon of trifla powder, mix it and leave it there. So next morning, all the extract of trifla will be in the water. You can leave the trifla on the bottom if you like to, or you can drink the whole thing. It's a lot of fiber.
And how much water in the pot?
Basically, the pot, usually the round ball you get is about 1.5 to 2 cups.
Okay.
But if you don't have, then you just take 1 regular glass of copper, or if not copper, then take just the regular glass, and then or ceramic, and then put 1 teaspoon of trifla powder, mix very well, and just leave it overnight. Next morning, that's the first thing you drink, and that will have a very good bowel movement.
And is the trifla the same thing as the trifla guggulu?
No, trifla guggulu is a trifla which is prepared with the blend of guggulu. It is used for inflammation in the gut. So trifla have a tendency to take the guggulu to the digestive system. So trifla guggulu is different. It's anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Only trifla capsule or powder you should use for that one. Again, every night will be you'll see the results. It's really good. Actually helps also in if somebody have hair fall issue, or they're ripening faster, or GI issues. So basically, it's like I said, it's a tonic. Use every day.
Okay. What were the first 2 things you just said? A hair issue?
If somebody complain about hair fall, they're getting thin.
Oh, okay.
That helps.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Kakushil, there's a following up question about the previous one. Can the milk be cold or warm?
If you are using the cow milk, it should be always warm. So cow milk in general is warming. So when you are using warming food, they should be warm. When you are using cooling food, they should be cold. Yogurt is cooling because the bacteria, you should use it cold. Milk is warming by nature. Then to get the full effect, it should be warming. If you're using the almond milk, then it should be room temperature. And besides these 2 milk, I don't think there are any other milk which exists, like rice milk and those. Anything you find white and you blend it, that doesn't become milk. Milk should have some qualities. We should have fat. We should have good protein, other minerals, and the other milks. Oat milk is not actually, you're just blending. People start making rice milk. That is not milk. It's just a white liquid.
I think that's all the question we have. Dr. Kakushil, thank you so much. It's a very, every time I'm so surprised that you are so knowledgeable about a lot of different things. It's amazing.
Absolutely. It was wonderful.
Blessing. So I will meet you guys again in a few weeks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dr. Kaushik.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. If you want to say goodbye to Dr. Kakushil, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Kaushik. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kaushik. Excellent.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad I was able to offer that. And like I said, anything, if you want to add any more topic later on, let the library know, and we'll make this part of our community service.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And like I mentioned every time, we also offer classes in Ayurvedic medicine in case someone have interest to learn more about themselves, about their want to make a profession, will be a good opportunity. And right this time, because of COVID, everything happened online. So it is a good opportunity for those who want to stay home and learn.
Dr. Kaushik, are you having a program in Harrison Public Library as well?
Not sure. Library, if they contact Miss Young, Marilyn Young actually is our person who is coordinating all these. And if they contact her, definitely.
Yeah, I think that,
He's the boss. He keeps telling me which days, and I'm just here to present whatever library has.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kaushik. Thank you so much for willing to share your knowledge.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, everyone, good night. Thanks for participating. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.